Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to War Thunder. Yes, it's been a long time, many things have changed. We've got several new nations such as France and Italy. We've got Japanese tanks. We got lots of interesting airplanes and things. But today we're looking at an old favourite, the Pz.Kpfw 35T. Yes. Right, so first things first, we're going to do the history and the technicalities. If you want to skip all that and go straight to the battle, then press the button on the timecode on the thing or in the description or wherever it is. If not, then stick around. Right, here we go.
Whoa, history.
The Pz.Kpfw 35T was a light tank used by the Wehrmacht during the early part of World War II. It was designed in 1935 by Skoda, where it was known as the Pz.Kpfw 35, or LTVZ 35. 300 were delivered to the Czechoslovakian army by March 1939, when Germany invaded. 126 LTVZ-35s were delivered to Romania, who renamed them R2. 10 were sent to Bulgaria after having been diverted from Afghanistan, where they were renamed T-11, and Slovakia seized 52 tanks when they declared their independence from the Czech Republic. Germany operated Pz.Kpfw 35Ts from the invasion of Poland in 1939 to 1942. A fourth crew member was added, and the tanks were generally popular with their crews during the early part of the war. However, as the war on the Eastern Front went on, these tanks were steadily lost, mostly to mechanical failure from lack of spare parts. By the 30th of November 1941, the last Pz.Kpfw 35T was declared non-operational, and the surviving tanks were withdrawn back to Germany. Most were passed off to Romania and Bulgaria, but 49 were converted into Pz.Kpfw 35T artillery tractors.
It's time for technicalities, baby.
The example seen here is a 1941 tank, as it has a rack of jerry cans on the engine deck to provide the fuel necessary for these tanks to traverse the vast distances involved when invading Russia. It has a crew of 4, commander/gunner, loader, driver and bow machine gunner/radio operator. The gunner stands on the left side of the turret, as in most tanks, but the driver sits on the right, which is unusual. This is because Czechoslovakians used to drive on the left until 1938. Only one driver fatality was recorded during this transition period. The Pz.Kpfw 35T is powered by a 120 horsepower Skoda T11/0 4-cylinder petrol engine. Nothing really remarkable about it, just a simple, reliable, solid Skoda engine. Skoda give me money. The armour consists of a 25mm thick cast gun mantlet. The front of the tank is all 25mm thick, so it will stop rifle caliber rounds, but don't expect it to save you from any kind of tank shell. The side and rear armour are both only 16mm, so beware heavy machine guns. The roof armour is also very thin at 8 to 12mm, so beware aircraft with 50 cals. Mobility is pretty poor. It can only do 20 miles per hour, around 32 kilometers per hour. It also turns very slowly in neutral, so get it in third gear before turning. Reverse speed is dismal, at 2 miles per hour. The turret also turns pretty slowly, but the gun has pretty good depression at around minus 10 degrees. The gun itself is a 37mm KWK-34T with 72 rounds. It is semi-stabilized, so you can keep it on target while reversing. The gun can fire Panzergranat 34T APC shells, which I would not recommend as they have no tracer, so it can be difficult to see where your shot goes. I'd recommend loading 25 Panzergranat T UMG APC-BC shells, as they have 13 grams of PETN high explosive, as well as 5 Panzergranat 40 APCR shells for French tanks. Your coaxial weapon is a 7.92mm VZ-37 machine gun, very similar to the British Pz.Kpfw, for which you get 1800 rounds in 100 round belts. To kill a Pz.Kpfw 35T, aim for centre mass. All of the internals are packed tight, so whatever you fire at it will hit something. From the rear, hit the engine first, and then the turret, because it turns pretty slowly, and once you immobilise it, then you can just reload and shoot it in the back of the turret. So overall, this is a slow tank with unreliable armour, and a decent enough gun to deal with most tanks you'll encounter at this level. Now, to battle!
It's time for battle. Oh yeah.
Right, so here we are on Abandoned Factory. As you can see, I've loaded 3 APCR shells and 37 regular shells. Well, not regular, but you know, the upgraded ones. Because pretty much you very rarely ever need APCR. Although you'll find that I'm coming to a situation later where I wish I'd had some more APCR shells. Anyway, so we're going towards the centre capture point and just driving down the middle, straight down the middle, because most people go up towards C, and they usually have a big brouhaha up there. So I'm going to try and slip around the gas drum things, the giant cylinders full of gas or whatever they're full of. So, and then come down and get B while nobody's looking. And also try and flank some of the people attacking C. You can shoot them in the side. And you're looking around. Because, well, in case there's anything super fast, like a BT series tank, yeah, they go pretty quickly. Drive into these freaking pipes. It's not a very heavy tank, it weighs only about 10 metric tons, so you know, punching your way through some of the more solid obstacles can be difficult. But yeah, as always, gotta check with your binoculars. This tank doesn't have the spotting mechanic that the new light tanks get, because this isn't a reconnaissance tank. This is a battle tank, don't you know? You gotta check all around, you gotta look through the little nooks and the crannies, and make yourself... And there's a puff of smoke behind that wall, so I'm gonna try... I thought it was behind that bit of wall, so I fired, but he wasn't there. I thought I saw him again, but he still wasn't there. I can't see him. I'm trying to get a look at him through my binoculars, I can't see what it is. But then I spot some movement over there and manage to snapshot it and hit the engine, which catches fire and then explodes. And then the guy who's behind the wall moves out like an imbecile, and it's a tiny French thing. And so they've only got 2 people inside, so they're easy to kill. And they've also got terrible guns. Terrible, terrible. They're just terrible in every respect, those French tanks. Anyway, so B's been captured, so we're going to move up towards C, and there's a lot of baddies up there, including... it's BT. BTs are easy to kill, there's only 3 people inside. Behind him is a... I think that's an FT-17? FCM-36, that's what it was. And if you notice, he fired straight into the front of this tank and didn't go through. So even 25mm of armour is enough to stop the FCM-36's gun, which is just terrible. Now over there, oh, that's a big scary tank, that's a Somua. It's the best tank that the French had during the invasion of France, arguably. Now he's taken out my people in the turret, because, well, their shells explode once they enter the tank. You'll find that a lot. Once you get hit in the turret, both your dudes are dead in there. And my shot bounced off the front of his, of course, because this was well sloped cast armour that's relatively thick. Now this freaking scaffolding here, that gets in the way of my shots. I'm firing my APCR now because that's a Somua. And yeah, this shot goes into the scaffolding as well. It's just ridiculous. I'm using the gun sight is in the position of the gun sight where it was historically. And we've been flanked by the T-26 with the big howitzer thing on it. And it can't get through 16mm of armour, even after I donk a shot into the pipes. Yeah, so if you got that thing, don't fire high explosive. It's not very good, and we dispatch him relatively easily, but then the Somua comes round the corner. Oh, he fires his first shot into the pipe. I figured, now I've got him. But I've used up all my APCR, and it doesn't go through, it bounces off the front, and now I can't reverse back in time, and boom, he blows me up. So there you have it, an average match, I would say, in the Pz.Kpfw 35T. Not much else happens in this match. There's a really weird graphical glitch though. It's, well, I'll just show you. Yeah, so Gaijin, maybe look into that. Anyway, so there you have it, the Pz.Kpfw 35T. It's not very good, it's not the best, it's not really the worst. It's just an average sort of low tier sort of tank, you know. It's got no armour, so to speak of, although it can shrug off a shell from a FCM36, but then again, what can't? Its gun is, well, it's okay, as long as you know what ammunition type you're firing. It can't really go through the front of a Somua, but if you bring enough APCR shells, then maybe you'll be able to deal with them as well. It's pretty slow, but there's a lot of tanks that are slower, such as the T-26. It's just, you know, it's average. It's an average sort of tank. I quite like it. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? You can do it up to look like a German tank that invaded Poland or something. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about it, really. There's nothing really remarkable. So, hopefully, you enjoyed this video, and that you'll join me for the next one, which I think will be either the Heinkel HE51C variant, or whatever the Russians have. Well, it's the T-26 next, isn't it? Yeah. I like the T-26, I think it's my favourite. Anyway, more on that next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Why not take this opportunity to like, share, and subscribe? You know what to do, you sexy beast, you.